Have you recently upgraded your engine, added a supercharger or turbocharger? Well, that stock fuel pump might not do the trick. So today we're going to show you how to install this high-performance Holley fuel pump. Now, when getting an aftermarket high-performance fuel pump, there's a few things to consider, like any additional fittings that you may need to get. In our case, we just needed one additional fitting for our fuel line, but you may need something for your vent or your evap line. At the same time, this fuel pump requires an additional post-fuel pump filter. One way to keep track of all these additional parts is a Roy Garage Project Planner. Having the Roy Garage Project Planner makes sure that you have all the parts you need, all the tools you need, along with listing out some of the major steps, so that way when you start turning the wrench, everything goes smooth. Now we have a few things we need to do to set up this fuel pump before we can drop it into the tank. First thing is to install our pump hanger, pop off our clip, install the arm, and then reinstall our tinning clip. Next, we're going to install our mat. So we're going to take off this cover. Ooh, there we go. See that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We're all the way on there.
Yep.
At the tip there.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yep.
So that would be fully seated. Install our gasket here. Little Harry Houdini. Whoop. We'll loosen this up. Yeah, it looks to be about 14 inches from the bottom of the tank to the top of the flange. Looks like we're gonna have to go all the way, almost all the way down here. There's 14. That looks pretty good right there. All right, we'll get these tightened up. And you know, you always gotta double check, just in case, you know.
Yep, that's perfect.
Sweet. So you have to come up with your fuel pump and your pump actually hits this guide rod. You're supposed to break them off right here. Next, we're gonna install our fump. Fump. We got a fump here, Lee. What's a fump? Next, we're gonna install the pump to our fuel tank. Pay attention to where our lift arm is compared to where your factory location was. Here goes nothing. Remove the gasket from the flange and install it onto the top of the tank. Then install the unit into the tank. Wow, that was so much easier. Holy cow, man.
That's pretty good.
You would think so. Wow. Last step is to wire your fuel pump. You have the ground, which should be connected to your chassis. 12-volt positive is your red. And you'll have a fuel level sensor 1 and a fuel level sensor 2. I would refer to Holley's instructions on how you should hook these up, depending on your specific application.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of the Roy Garage. Next on this project, we will be installing that inline filter, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications. We'll catch you next time on the Roy Garage. Now, how do we get it to stay?